Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Salute to Industries. I love sitting with this company today. I mean, everybody knows it, and we were joking earlier just about if you've lived under a rock, you've heard the name of this company, but everybody knows Uber. I've got Michael Pett with me today, Army veteran now. Welcome to the fold, and he's the head of military and veteran programs at Uber. So let's dive in, Michael, and tell us a little bit about Uber. If you could please introduce that to us.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Don. Thanks for having me, everybody. Regarding Uber is obviously, a very well-known company. You've either gotten some food delivered, by using our app, or you've gotten a ride home, after, a day or an evening out. It is a fantastic company, exciting company to work for, with actually several verticals, and that's the exciting thing about this company, is that actually, it's more than just a ride-sharing app. It's more than just a food delivery service.
And that's what we know. That's what it's popularized for, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Funny story, when I actually left my old company to come over here, my sister thought I was actually going to be a driver. So, and honestly, Don, that's why I'm excited to talk to you. We get to unpack that, right? And you actually inform everybody about the different opportunities, right, that are outside of just being a driver partner.
That's what we're doing Salute to Industry videos for. Exactly. Yeah. So let's dive in there. So let me run through a couple stats for people out there, just to kind of put some context to this. And I believe you're in Chicago. Is that right? You look bundled up out there, so it must be cold. I'm in Florida myself, so I'm flip-flops and shorts down here. But
lucky.
But Uber, for you guys out in the audience, I mean, it's a massive company. Everybody knows the name. You guys have 140,000 job openings across the globe. So I was just doing, some search across your job boards and stuff like that. Set up, I just pulled off that stuff. So, but you got almost 100,000 employees. That's strong, right? You've got a 10,000 head count here in the U.S. Top locations: San Francisco, New York City, Chicago, where you're based out of. Well, let's dive in a little bit more into those details about the verticals that you guys have. I've seen management, sales, IT, logistics, supply chain. Talk to us a little bit more about that in a little bit greater detail of the opportunities that are there.
Yeah, sure. So there's also cybersecurity, right? Anything front end, back end development, obviously, engineering, infrastructure services. So any sort of tech related field is something that we're really trying to go after. But as we make, I think 2020 was obviously, a terrible year in so many different reasons and so many different ways. But, while folks stayed home or began this work from home, our Eats business really did quite well during 2020. So that's why, as your earlier point, we are hiring a lot of folks in sales opportunities. Okay. And right here in Chicago, where I'm based, is actually where our freight headquarters is going to be. So it's another vertical we're looking to get in. So we hope to become the biggest carrier of not only moving people, but moving goods and services as well.
Whoa, look at that statement. That's a big statement right there. I mean, you're talking about competing with the Swifts, the McKnights out there. I mean,
we got a lot of work to do, but at the end of the day, Uber is definitely known for making big, bold bets. So
not that this is happening, but what if Uber got together with Tesla, with all of those electronic vehicles out there? I don't know about this, but
like you said, what we did realize though, as going into the holidays, et cetera, certain businesses were growing, certain divestments needed to happen.
Right.
So, with regards to what we do with Tesla, we do have obviously, an external commitment to become, much more energy efficient, right, by 2040. I'm not going to put out all the news. You can obviously refer to our media room for that, but there are going to be some strides to become, a much more green company, which is something that I know a lot of people, can really get behind.
Well, we just saw with the new presidency coming in. I mean, look at that. They're trying to transition the entire fleet, the government fleet, to electronic vehicles. And the green industry movement's been something that's been happening for decades now. I think it's growing. And it's accelerating, and I think it's absolutely fabulous that Uber's taking part of that, because you have such a big footprint yourselves in the transportation and logistics space. So I applaud you guys for doing that. But let's spend a little bit more time, because a lot of our people that come into our world, which we see 500 to 1,000 new people looking for work a week. That's military spouses, veterans, and transitioning guys out of service, people out of service. Sorry, but let's let's spend a little bit of time here before we move on. I mean, cybersecurity, I just want to review real quick because we're hopping around to different places here, but cybersecurity, IT positions, you've got logistics and transportation coming on board. You've got management. At the same time, you got sales. So sales, I mean, that's pretty much in every market location that you have because you got the Uber Eats happening. I mean, that's somebody's behind that and maintaining those relationships. That's your sales force as well. So you've got a range of stuff that you guys focus on filling. So, I mean, you've got your work cut out for you, Michael.
Yeah. And I'm sure as we unpack, what this program really entails, I think people are actually going to see how big we hope it will become.
Well, tell us a little bit more about your niche inside of this world and what you're working towards inside of the military and veteran space, being recently retired stuff.
Yeah. So, one of my big passions, being the head of this program doesn't, eliminate the chance of me ever speaking with a veteran or a partner. At Uber, we call spouses partners simply because, we also strive to be more inclusive. And we feel that really is a great term that captures everybody, right? That's married to somebody that's served or is currently serving. So with regards to that, while my day job is really, ensuring that our business understands what our community looks like, we educate them on the skill sets that they possess and that they bring to the table. We still have to educate our internal recruiters and sourcers every single day on the skill sets that our community brings to the table. So as you can imagine, you mentioned, earlier how many thousands of jobs we have available. It's absolutely impossible for me and a couple of other sourcers to manage that workload, right? So every single day, we're constantly educating our recruiters and sourcers, our TA leaders on what the community looks like and what we as veterans and partners can bring to the table.
And I mean, it's no small feat, right? I mean, you're talking about
my hairline was actually much lower before I took this role, and now it's just, now I'm getting my father's kind of comb over thing going on. So before you know it, it's over.
You're going to be looking like this guy over here. That's right.
You got a head, you can pull it off. It's like an alien up here.
It is well shaped. Thank you very much.
You got it. Absolutely.
Well, let's poke at this a little bit more. I mean, so the culture that you're building, let's uncover that a little bit more. The Uber military community. Can you speak to that, please?
I absolutely can. So, like I mentioned, inclusivity, right? Being part of the MVP community, right? You fall under D&I, there were some challenges as there were with a lot of companies in prior years, but with our current leadership, with our current direction, our current values, we are poised to be in unbelievably great shape going forward. That includes bringing in our community, right? So currently we have an employee resource group. It's called Veterans At. That includes the partners and allies. But the coolest thing about Uber is it's not just a US-based company. It's global. So now we have folks from every other NATO nation's militaries participating in our ERG as well. So it's a really, really exciting, kind of program, and we welcome our folks with open arms. So whether you're making that transition from active duty or some other corporate space, you've got a safe place to come. Okay. And then going back to what I was saying is, yes, it's global company. That means my program is also global as well. So not only am I hiring US veterans right here at home, but we're also hiring folks over in the EU, in EMEA, that all belong to those militaries too. So we're looking for one, complete, force, if you will. So it's really, really exciting.
Well, let me introduce some topics for you that I pulled in my research about this interview, preparing for the interview, just so the audience can hear it. It's not often mainstream news that you guys are recognized, and I just want to bring that to light for people in the audience, and you can react to it. So in 2019, for example, LinkedIn named you as one of the top 50 companies to work for, and that there's a stickiness to you, right? So people not just come here to work, they stick around, and they're working here for you for some time. And you just spoke to that about being a global entity. And that's also a reason why we see this number here that I pulled about in 2018 alone, there was 3,000 employees that transferred to different roles. So you got your foot in the door, it moved up, some upward mobility there. And not only that, they had a number of those 3,000 ended up moving internationally. Right. So that speaks to that. That just talks to what you're just speaking to right there. Well, one thing I like to talk about companies. I love that you guys are doing the military culture. Not a lot of companies do that. I think it's starting to take more shape now than it was, let's say, in the past few years. You guys are definitely one of the front runners out there that I see doing this, building that military culture globally, which is important. How are you guys up against COVID? For those in the audience, today is January 28th. We're interviewing. I mean, it's still a relevant question for us. People that might be watching this down the road might not be. But talk to me and the audience a little bit about what you guys are doing with COVID at this time.
Yeah, so we're as a company, we're obviously involved in it very deeply, right? We're involved in actually the vaccination rollout. We're assisting in a lot of countries, making sure that those vaccines get to the right folks, get to those healthcare providers. We're very much involved in, like I said, the moving of goods. But from an employee perspective, right? What does that look like? This is my kitchen. Right, we're literally in it. So obviously we're in kind of a work from home capacity for the time. Right. No one really knows necessarily, and I don't mean no one at Uber. I'm saying no one in general kind of knows, when we're going to get back to a new sense of normal. Right. The leadership team, our securities team, our safety teams have been extremely transparent about what they're doing to make sure that the office will be ready to go. But I guarantee you, we will be going back to the office eventually, and I'm looking forward to it. Coming over from my previous company, I've only worked from my kitchen, believe it or not. I'm yet to step foot into an Uber office, and I've been with the company already for several months. So
this is your norm. That's right.
That's right. So, if it comes down to us having to ever have to pay for the vaccination, take my money, please. I'm looking forward to getting back and doing great things.
Well, it's great to see the health of the business, the expansion. You're still hiring during these times. Yeah. And I applaud you guys for your efforts in the community and getting people to vaccinations. I mean, that's a big step forward for you guys as a business and just putting yourselves out there and make yourselves available to people in need. So thank you very much, yourself and Uber, on behalf of Uber. Lastly, before we put a pin in this, I appreciate your time once more, Michael. And where would you like people to go? And we'll include this in the links attached to the video for people to learn more about opportunities.
Yeah, no, first of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak, because I think what I would really love everyone else to know, besides where to go, is that this program is still in its infancy. Yes, I've been here for a few months, but there's been a lot of building that's been done behind the scenes. So some of y'all may not be aware that this program even exists. While we're working on building a really rock solid landing page and a great place for you to go that is really targeted, in the interim, I ask that you go to our LinkedIn Military Veteran Partner Recruiting Group, okay? Join there. We'll be pushing out positions. You'll have the opportunity to connect with some of our folks that already work at Uber. So whether it be someone in development, somebody within our freight business, HR, or you want to speak to one of our MVP sourcers, that is a great place to start. And I encourage everyone to go in there. Like I said, we'll celebrate our wins, we'll answer questions, and then coming soon will be our external webinar series where we'll invite you to come and see what a day in the life at Uber is like.
I look forward to seeing more of that content come out. Yeah. Everybody, I appreciate you, Michael, for coming on board, spending some time with us, and we'll be getting this out shortly.
All right, thanks so much for joining us for another edition of Salute to Industry.
Absolutely, and to register for services and learn more about other employment opportunities, visit us on the web at vetjobs.org/jobs for veterans. Take care, everybody.